Hi Libra, welcome to your Capricorn season reading. You thought you have been putting the work in, haven't you? Capricorn season says, you are just at the very beginning. And if you take a sweet look around you, at your relationships, you know, those dear people that mean the world to you and reflect who you can become. You know, those helpful outer visuals, outer intel for what it takes, how long it takes to get to where you really want to be, this place that you're rushing to in your mind. The sun is passing through Capricorn from December 21st to January 19th, and the sun is in your 4th house. You really want to reinvent everything. Your existing career, your existing life, your look, yourself, you want some major change, the 2 of Wands. But he's in reverse. Mars is retrograde currently in your 11th house of wishes and dreams. The things that you want right now are under review. Your wishes, your desires, especially involving money. But you know, this is Leo energy. This is your inner child. It's really difficult right now to separate or make sense of what desires are just childlike hopes and dreams, and which are truly going to create abundance and stability for you, stable abundance and security for you long term. The good thing is Mars in Leo, even retrograde, it doesn't want you to have to choose one or the other. You can have both. You need to have both. It's essential. There's no other way for Leo. But all of this retrograde energy, it's tough. It's tough to see clearly. It's tough to know what action to take. It's tough to even be disciplined and know what to be disciplined about. It's hard to put the pieces together. And it's hard to have the energy to put the pieces together. And so even though Capricorn season is coming in and it's saying, hey, we've got a ways to go here. We're not done. We're only at the beginning of this journey. I know it feels like you've been working for years. I know it feels like you've been building for years, but take a look at the road ahead. There's still a lot of pavement. A lot. And yeah, you might not have the energy or as much energy as you would like right now to jog down that road, drive down that road, whatever, in whatever which way you want to go. But the road is there. And if you haven't been able to see it and you've been playing around with, like I said, what's my inner child? What's my true abundance? Is there a way to combine the two? Should I be combining the two? If you've been swirling with all of these different, you know, ideas in your mind, this, you know, while the sun has been in Sagittarius, Capricorn energy comes in and says, stop thinking so much. It's about every day. and it's about the long term. So likely whatever it is that's had you in a hold and has been causing you to either feel like you haven't been doing enough or be super aggressive about something that you want, knowing that that's not getting you anywhere closer to the thing. The Sun in Capricorn comes in very helpfully to remind you that this is about the long term. Nothing is going to happen quickly or overnight. This is about building slowly, intentionally, and in a way that is lasting and that will create a legacy that you can stand on, be proud of, and pass down to anyone of your choosing. So it's comforting in that way. Comforting for your mind. Yeah. We immediately have a new moon in Capricorn on December 30th. You know, it's time to, yeah, the work doesn't stop, but it's time to connect to what's really inside. Not what's in the mind, because you'll see what's in the mind. You see what the mind is doing to you right now. The Ace of Swords and the Knight of Swords. You see when you put this pressure on the mind, all it does is stress you by thinking of something outside of you, thinking that you need to be something outside of who you are right now. The new moon in Capricorn is the clarity that your mind is not everything. Your mind is not the only thing that can provide direction to you. And when you give it a little break and you acknowledge that maybe it's overwhelmed, it's exhausted, when you hold space for what you've been doing to yourself. Yes, the world around you, it's been pulling on you constantly. But when you hold space for what you've been doing to your mind and you tell yourself, I'm not going to, rush towards anything at all. Here you are, renewed and ready to create deals for yourself, secure deals for yourself, because you didn't realize that with all that rushing forward and, doubt that you've been feeling, you haven't even given yourself a chance to sit on the information and really make sense of everything that you've just gained. You've been talking about it as if you do, but when you realize something and you truly integrate it, you actually don't talk as much about the thing. You just execute. The King of Swords and the Two of Pentacles. This fourth house Cancer energy coming in for you during Capricorn season and under the new moon right away on December 30th is the reminder that what you've been doing wasn't for no reason. All of the mental strain has been bringing you information that is going to help you stop doubting. Whether you've been doubting a relationship, you've been doubting an entrepreneurial career path, you've been doubting your worthiness to play a larger role within your traditional career. You've been doubting your ability to go at this life. Lots of doubt, the Two of Pentacles. You've been doubting your ability to create something that means a ton to you, something you can't even fully express with words. So much inner conflict about it, about these things. You've been doubting if you're worthy of a good life, happiness, connectivity, good friends, good business partners, so much, you know. The fourth house is like your path in life. You have been doubting it. Unsteady about it. And this new moon, it softens you just enough to show you that what you're deserving of. Some water. I'm recording this during Sagittarius season, and it's still Mercury retrograde. Also, Mars just went retrograde in Leo. It's like, why can't I just talk? Why can't I just do things? You know, you just gotta, this is the energy. This is the energy. Oh my gosh. Capricorn season and the new moon in Capricorn brings you clarity. The clarity that what you want, all of these things that you want, you're capable of having, as long as you know. The King of Swords. As long as you know in your heart, as long as you know in your mind. Not in an aggressive way, in an inner knowing that you've been put on this path to have these opportunities, these experiences. You know that they are yours for the taking. And you also know that there's an energy, it's a little bit more, a little bit more aggressive. You know, you've been playing it small in a lot of ways. You've been giving people a lot of rope. Yeah, for the sake of community and connectivity. But Capricorn season is an emotional intuition that swallows people. Not to destroy them or to hurt them, but to protect them and yourself. You're no longer playing it small, and anyone who decides to play it small will get swallowed by your energy. Because your intuition is on. What you're doing and how you're moving is not for some ulterior motive. It's an inner knowing. It's a direction that's pulling you along, not even something that you, let's put it this way, you don't even have as much control over this direction building within you as much as you think you do. You may have thoughts about what you need to do and how you need to align to it, but when this fourth house energy takes over, it pulls you. You don't have a choice in this. Whatever role you're supposed to be playing in the life that you live, in your family, in your career, in your entrepreneurial things, in your life, this Aries card, whatever leadership role, let's be more specific, whatever leadership role, it's coming out, it's loud, it's clear. And the nice thing about it is that you're not looking for these huge, big moments. You're actually you're not obsessed with the external. Everyone else begins to have this obsession with the external, and even this obsession with you, because you become deeply unobsessed. You actually just feel yourself flowing with the experience itself. You just get into this mode of building really beautifully, really slowly. You actually start to enjoy the little moments of everything, and that's what makes your energy so enticing, attractive. But these people, the Page of Pentacles, they want to pull you down to earth as if you're not already there. It's hard to be patient with Mars retrograde, but try. Venus will also enter Pisces on January 2nd, your 6th house. Pull back. You're already in this homey energy. Pull back as much as possible. There's a transition happening of this role that you're playing. It's coming to life, and to get through the transition, you have to be super specific. It's very easy to overlook what's needed. It's very easy to make yourself too big for the real work. But don't. Say less. Do more. And I know for you, that's like, what do you mean? I don't even, you know, I'm just trying to connect with people and people love it. I know. But when Venus enters Pisces on January 2nd, it's just time to work and go home. That's it. Work and go home. If you make work anything more than that, you will be disappointed by the pushback that you feel and by the lack of energy. It just becomes really muddy, you know, the work. You know, it's just easy to feel unappreciated, and I get it. But the Magician and the Eight of Pentacles is like, you've figured out the role that not only you should be playing within your work environment, but the role that you actually want to play. And it does allow you to pull back from the world a little bit. So accept that. And if your role, you feel like your role is being crunched down on, if you feel like your role, people are trying to box you in, just give it a little time. Give it a little time. Aries energy will build. It's not time to make the big moves right now. It's time to prepare for a transition. It's time to pass through this transitional energy to get to where you're supposed to go. So don't fight back against people. Don't try to argue your worth with people. People are going to see you the way that they see you right now. Just get the work done and go home and wait for the vision to become clear. Keep working on yourself. Stay humble. Be grateful. But you know, what's not working within a work environment is not something that you are going to resolve. There's information that you're waiting on about why this dynamic is the way that it is and what you need to do about it. It's not something that you can force or rush. And Venus in Pisces is pretty much a holding pattern that forces you to reflect on the way out, maybe even craft the way out. Then Mars retrograde moves back from your 11th house into your 10th house, into Cancer on January 6th. And it's back to building. Right now, with Mars and Leo, you have this unrelenting want for more. It's hard to just be in what you've created and see what you've created. It feels like sometimes impossible. And when you do feel it, it feels so weird that you won't even let yourself fully feel it with Mars and Leo. But for a moment, Mars shifts back into Cancer and you actually see, oh wow, yeah, all that work I was doing before, it has gotten me to this point. Why haven't I been able to see how great things have become? Why am I picking apart this beautiful opportunity? Is it because it's imperfect? Well, why do I think that things are supposed to be perfect? Because I can curate my look to seem perfect? Because I can create a beautiful aesthetic in my home, in my car, that seems perfect. I can dress my kids and my family up to the point that everybody just looks perfect. But then what happens when the reality of life and the emotional hurdles that will forever remain pop up? What happens when life takes you down a different path than what you thought you wanted or needed? But then you realize it's all you actually want. How do you adjust? You find, oh, it's shocking to your soul. The Nine of Wands. To realize that the perfect life is not actually what you wanted. You wanted the imperfect life. It's so desirable. You just thought you wanted and needed this perfection, but you realize that there's no soul in that. There's no realness in that. And this, Cancer energy, as long as you're not, abusing them, they want the realest version of you. They want to love the realest version of you, connect with the realest version of you, and they know that the realest version of you is going to come with some messiness and some drama and some feelings that aren't the prettiest. They know that this job is going to come with some challenges that aren't the easiest, this opportunity. But when you disassociate with life and you create this imaginary utopian visual for what you think life is supposed to be, it gets really hard to, just live and enjoy the present. Cancers are really, really, really good at enjoying the present. And you as a cardinal sign can adopt and embody this energy. This retrograde wants to do another review of how you embrace your desires and how you allow yourself to enjoy them and feel safe within them. Or is this going to be your performance forever? Is it always going to be a performance? Is that the only way that you feel safe? Or are you able to fully lean into the life that you always wanted and actually let yourself enjoy it? This retrograde is going to uncover what is keeping you from the good life. It's also going to be revealing of what it means to be successful in a way that has probably felt unreal, and mentally, emotionally, spiritually, you haven't been able to fully process how you need to adjust the new approach that you need to take to life because of the things that you've now achieved. How do you protect what you've achieved and maintain connection with your family, with your coworkers, with friends? How do you do it? You've got to create it. You've got to not just have the thing, right? That's Mars in your 10th house, not just have it and just be going and going and going. And, you know, it's let that be the fill of your ego that sustains you forever. Yeah, that sounds, you know, that makes sense, right? As long as I have something doing this job. But there's a part of you that really desires more depth. This Cancer energy loves depth. So you've got to realize that where you're sitting today, where you find yourself today, is likely a very long-term experience that will carry on, and how you decide to navigate this period, what you decide to commit to, the people, the lifestyle, the, you know, all of those pieces of your life is what your life is going to be. So it does you a lot of good under this retrograde to evaluate and say, do I really have the right pieces a part of this? Is this really how I want my life to feel long term and forever? And if not, this is the time to say, hey, I'm happy I've gotten to this point in my life, but I don't think this approach is going to keep me happy long term. I actually feel very isolated. I actually just feel like, you know, money hungry. Like I actually just feel like every time I get hurt, like it just makes me, you know, scarily ambitious. And I'm like, I'm not sure if that's like the right cycle to be in for all of this. Let me reevaluate. Let me, you know, pull in some new pieces, and what aspects of where I am today do I need to shift out? I know I have a really solid foundation that I've been able to walk on, but I don't know if I want to walk on it like this for the rest of my life. I don't think this is it. You know, I want more of this love within. Externally, I want to feel it more. Why don't I feel it enough? Mercury will enter Capricorn on January 8th, and you know, even though we have all of these retrogrades going on, even though there's a lot of evaluation going on, a lot of communication about what's not working, a lot, Yeah. Mercury enters Capricorn and it says, you're right on time. I know you fill all of these things up in your mind and you sit with it forever and you say, okay, this is who I am now. This is the version of me that's going to relate to everybody in my life, and they're all going to connect with me in this way, and this is what it's going to be. And that's it. It's going to get me what I want. It's going to give me the relationship that I want. Yep, the love that I want, the friendships that I want. And this is what it's going to be. And I'm fine with this. And as long as everyone in my life is fine with this, let's keep it going. And then Mercury enters Capricorn and you realize you've grown out of so much of who you've been. So what do? Do you keep being who you are to the people around you just because it makes them comfortable? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You're gonna feel all of these feelings and you're just gonna feel it and you're gonna say, I don't like any of how this feels. This does not feel right at all. Four of Cups and the Ten of Swords. And you know what? Everyone is gonna understand. They're gonna be like, yeah, no, I understand why you feel that way. You need to take care of yourself, because being the sign of relationships, and hold on one second. Hi Libra, I'm back. Started this Friday night, and then my boyfriend got back and things got busy. So it is now a beautiful Sunday morning. It's gorgeous, it's quiet. It's the Pisces moon. And you're working, you're building. We were talking about Mercury entering Capricorn and this increasing need for you to focus on yourself. Focus on what you have. Less external, more internal. The Hermit. There's something that needs more love, attention, craftiness, strategy. But your heart has been uncentered. When Mercury moves into Capricorn, you're able to center yourself on what's most important to you and what you really need and what you really want. But in a very soft way. And you also need to step away from the noise, the distractions, the excuses, the lack of intention. Your vision only requires dedication now. A really quiet dedication. And the full moon in Cancer is coming up on January 13th. So we talked a lot about that unsteadiness at the beginning, the inability to find your confidence and make decisions and figure out what you should really take with you, who you should take with you, if you can handle this long-term commitment, these long-term commitments. And the full moon makes things super, super clear for you. It says this is what you need to put down. This is what's been just extremely too heavy, too much. This was never your responsibility to carry emotionally, professionally. You may have decided to take it on because it just seemed like the natural thing to do to make sure that the situation was balanced, harmonious. But you're emotionally exhausted and you're physically exhausted. I don't know if this effort is really painting a picture for you in the way that you want, or is this just something that you're doing for others, you know, that trap that you get caught in. Are you doing it for yourself and others and the team, or are you just on autopilot? Whatever the reasoning has been for why, the full moon in Cancer forces you to take a step back and say, what is this long-term journey, this long-term plan, this 10-year plan, this 5-year plan, this 3-year plan? What are we committing to here? No wavering, no confusion. What energy do you want to put in for how long to get to where? What do you really feel fueled to do? It's not even something you really have to think about. You will feel it. You'll know. And once you know, it becomes so much easier to, again, stop exerting as much physical effort. It is going to be an adjustment for you and everyone, because you're no longer playing this role of making everyone feel comfortable. That's not your job. It's your job to get the job done respectfully, as respectfully as possible. Get the jobs done. So the full moon in Cancer is helpful because it makes space for more care and more sensitivity for yourself and for other people where it's needed and where it should be, but it's also releasing all of this emotional pressure you've been putting on yourself, physical pressure you've been putting on yourself to be this formed figure for something that doesn't have much to do with what you actually desire. Then the sun enters Aquarius on January 19th, Aquarius, and it's time to have fun. It's time to plug in whichever way you would like. This is your 5th house. It's, you know, it's time to let loose a little bit. You've had to, especially during Capricorn season, will have to hold yourself together. Pull yourself back from things that you may really want to say or do. And that gets emotionally exhausting. It gets exhausting to have to be the, you know, one to push everybody else along. It gets exhausting. And when the sun enters Aquarius, you're like, okay, everybody's good. I've done what I've needed to do for everyone. It's time for me to go have a good time. It's time for me to reconnect with my tribe, my people, create a new tribe. Like it's time for me to do some fun things. Time for me to get out, go somewhere new. Time for me to create some things that I've, this new vision that I have, this clear vision that I have. It's time to invest in it. My mind's finally working straight again. I feel inspired, creative, confident, and I need some new energy in my life. And you also feel the forming of a desire that you've had. In a very non-emotional way, it's super clear that you've arrived. Clear to you, clear to everyone around you, and there's really no better feeling. Just don't forget the hurdles that you had to jump to get here. And the fact that even though you're here, there are more hurdles at this leg of the journey. So even though you feel this freedom to get back out in the world and explore and try some new things and go into new spaces and new environments, don't forget the underlying energy. Always there, always present, always watching. Don't be naive as you feel the fulfillment of dreams and desires. Don't be naive about any aspect of it. At least not internally. I will talk to you more then in Aquarius season. In the meantime, you can schedule private and birth chart readings with me through the link in the description. The Capricorn season playlist Height is out now on Apple Music, and the link is in the description for that. I love you so much. Happy Capricorn season. Bye.